This is a really weird time for me to be streaming. But that's fine. I normally stream at weird times, so it works out. If there's anyone in the chats, I cannot see you at the moment. I am currently sending out the notification that I completely forgot to do before I started. Okay, everything should be running. Yep, YouTube says it's working. Twitch is working. Put that up. I don't need this, but I want it just in case. And there we go, game up. It's a lot of stuff I need to do to get this going. I keep forgetting I have the webcam again. It's working for now. I don't know how long it'll last. I don't know how the chat will look either, because I just kind of slapped the webcam over the top of the chat. It should work. Let's do some gerbs. Ooh, that's some good money. That's a long trip, but that's some good money. My truck can handle that. Maybe. I mean, I remember this thing being incredibly... Yeah, I've got full heavy cargo. I could handle this. I got... a truck. That's what I got. It's torque that matters for this stuff. I don't know trucking terms, vehicle terms. Do I look like a vehicle guy? Like, most certainly not. God, this game looks so pretty, though. I can't get over how pretty this game looks at, like, max settings. I will note, for anyone who has seen the computer build I'm using, has had the thought of like, oh man, I want to try that build. There are some quirks to using the AMD graphics card that I'm learning over time. And they're quirks that I'm happy to put up with for the performance. But they're something that, you know, you should be aware of. Like, if you play Monster Hunter, at least Monster Hunter Rise, the game likes to crash on closing if you save and quit from in-game. It only does it if you save and quit from in-game, without backing out to the menu first. But, you know, if you save and quit out to the main menu first, it closes just fine. Just the quirk of AMD, I guess. Given I wouldn't have near the performance I do have if I had spent the same money with NVIDIA, I'm happy with what I'm happy to deal with the quirks. Am I turning in right here? Oh no, I'm turning here. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm sure my truck can handle this. Look at all that torque. I don't know how this stuff works. I have made stock trucks do things they shouldn't, so... I would be like the worst truck driver in real life, because I would very much damage my truck by doing things it really shouldn't do. Oh, backing in like this is probably not going to work. I don't have enough room. So I'm basically against the door there. Okay. What I'll do, I'll just drive over the curb. I'll back in this way. That's what I probably should have just done in the first place. Onwards! Oh, this is gonna be really awkward. I would have liked to have pulled a little bit into the other lane. Okay. That is like a... What are you doing? Okay. That just happened. I have also finally ordered a power supply for my computer, so I'll have a final price on how much it actually costs in total. I mean, I don't need the power supply. I could keep running my external setup. I just don't feel really all that comfortable running the external setup. Mostly because I have an idiot cat who would probably, first chance she actually gets, will probably try to bite one of the cords coming off the power supply because she's an idiot. So I have the music is in any way audible. And I've also done the thing I should have done from the very start, and I feel kind of bad for. If you're watching this on YouTube, in the description, there is a link to DJ the S's channel. He's the one that makes the music that is currently playing. I kind of wish that there was just a generic radio station in-game that played royalty-free music. That'd be nice. Or just some music in general to the game itself that's royalty-free or licensed for use with, you know, the game kind of deal. Though it kind of have to be royalty-free for streamers like myself. Because, well, as anyone who has played a GTA game on stream could probably tell you, license holders don't care if their licensed music is played through a game while you're streaming it or just on its own. They don't care. It's their licensed music and you don't have the license to play it. Which is why I will probably never play a GTA game on stream. Other than just I'm not the biggest fan of GTA. But, yeah. Come on, Truck, you can do it. I also don't know how long this stream is going to go for. It'll go for a time. That's generally how these trucking streams go. Basically, once I start getting bored of trucking is when the stream ends. The fact that I'm going downhill and can release the acceleration. It's not a steep hill, but like, I'm slowing down. Gravity is not my friend, I guess. There we go, there's cruise control. That's what I was looking for. Come on, controller. I know you get dead zones, but come on. I have minimized them as much as I possibly can. This isn't like a great controller. It's a third-party Nintendo Switch controller that I got for Christmas like 3 years ago. It's holding up remarkably well. Gamery. I remember recommending it way back then too, and I still stand by that. Because it's not terribly expensive, it has gyro controls, and it has good buttons. Like, having an actual Pro controller now, as well as this thing, and this doesn't have to be wired all the time, I just don't have Bluetooth on this computer, because the Bluetooth is part of the wireless Wi-Fi adapter, and I've just not bothered to install the Wi-Fi adapter. Having compared the two of them, they're so remarkably similar that just... this thing will work. This probably doesn't have the longevity the Switch Pro controller does, but... it doesn't really matter too much with how much money you're saving. Because, like, the Switch Pro controller is well over $100. This thing's, like, $50. So you could just buy 2 of these and probably have roughly the same longevity, and now you've got 2 Pro controllers, so you can actually do like local multiplayer without having to use Joy-Cons. The only thing I will say about this is if you don't have kind of big hands, this controller is probably not the best, because, well, it kind of big, which I like, because I've got kind of big hands, so... It is a pretty nice feature to have. I am still not used to drinking with my right hand. I've been trying to do that off stream as well, so I can get more used to this for when I am streaming. Because, well, I've been using this microphone instead of my snowball, because it obstructs my view of things to have the snowball over here. And it can also just be a real pain in the ass to manage the snowball, because it's so big. And it's just mounted right next to me on the desk. So I basically just swing the boom arm over. And I mean, this microphone works. I have a lot of decibels of gain on it to make it as audible as it is. I think I've got like 10 decibels of gain. Which is quite a lot. Like, the snowball needs nothing. The snowball is just fine out of the box. This Corsair mic is not the best. It is Discord certified. It doesn't work for Discord. It just doesn't. You're way too quiet, and you can't add enough boost and gain in Discord to make it audible. You are, like, super muffled. It kind of sounds like you're talking from across the room. Like, if you have any level of noise suppression on, it just murders this microphone. Now, that is, albeit with me talking into it. The average person, it might be okay, but for talking through Discord, I honestly feel like louder is just better. Like, a cheap $2 microphone from the dollar store that, while, yeah, you're gonna sound tinny, you'll at least be audible, is more important than a good quality microphone that is so muffled and quiet that you literally just cannot hear the person talking most of the time. There is nothing more annoying than trying to talk to someone and not being able to hear them because their microphone is just muffled or too far away, or there's so many problems talking to people on Discord, especially people that don't understand microphones. So, because we are playing a Steam game, this is the perfect time to talk about something that I've been thinking about a bit lately. And that is, I'm a little worried for the Steam Deck. Which I know you're probably thinking, why would you be worried for it? Well, quite simply, Steam has no plans well, they're working on a Steam Deck 2, but they have no plans of releasing one for a couple years. From reports I was seeing, it was at least 2 years. The problem I have with Steam's lackadaisical, yeah, we'll get to it eventually approach. The Steam Deck is not great. Performance-wise. Performance-wise, my old computer is stronger than the Steam Deck. Buying used parts, I could build my old computer for less than a Steam Deck. And the only thing that would really be holding it back is the same bottlenecks that I basically got sick of and could not stand anymore, like the hard drive. Spinning disk hard drives are just slow. And it gets frustrating. But at that point, just replace it for a 500 gig SSD. It's a 1 terabyte hard drive, a 500 gig SSD is roughly the same price. And right there, you've got a better computer that's still not good. Now, like, I get the appeal of the Steam Deck is that you can take it with you on the go. But if everyone I know, at least I know of that I know, that has a Steam Deck, almost none of them have long commutes. Almost none of them really use the Steam Deck outside of their own home anyway. And basically all of them have expressed regret in having bought the Steam Deck because they bought into the marketing, basically, that it was a PC in your hands. And I mean, yeah, it kind of is. It's just a really low-end PC in your hands. And part of the worry for the Steam Deck is the fact that there are products in the pipeline that are better than the Steam Deck. And if they're even remotely comparably priced, Steam Deck's probably done for. Because here's the thing with pre-builds, and I can say this with certainty as someone who has owned pre-builds his entire life. You only replace them when they start getting long in the tooth. Like, I only replaced my old desktop, my old Dell, because it really just wasn't keeping up with what I needed to do anymore. Man, this is a lot of traffic. I'm waiting for the AIs to glitch out and crash into each other, because that's always funny. Like, for streaming, video editing, and all that, the i5 I had and the 1650 just don't keep up. They just can't do it. It was like an i5 9400, which is still shocking to me that not many generations later I'm using an i5 and it's bloody amazing, because imagine that, it has the same performance cores as the i7 or i9 ahead of it. It just only has 6 of them, and then like 8 efficiency cores. Like, this thing's a 14-core CPU, which is really nice. I almost don't want to get going too fast, because I know I'm just going to have to slow down. So I think I'm just going to roll at 90, especially where I'm carrying a very heavy load. My truck might be capable of it, but I still need to be mindful that I'm carrying a very heavy load. Like, I imagine people right now who have bought a Steam Deck are looking for replacements for their Steam Deck, because there are games coming out that they may have wanted to play that they just can't on the Steam Deck. Like, I've not seen any particularly big updates since it launched, if there was any, change in the performance of it. But using Hogwarts Legacy, I know, taboo game, as a benchmark, a lot of people still wanted to play that game, whether it's taboo or not. So it's a good benchmarking game kind of thing. The Steam Deck struggled to play that at 30 low settings, and that's at 720p, remember. The Steam Deck doesn't do 1080. It's not even full HD resolution. And the Steam Deck was struggling to play it at 30. It was 30 with stutters, down to, 10 to 15. So, like, oh, I don't think I actually needed to pull over. It was assuming I'd already pulled over. Okay. Like, that is a modern game that people probably wanted to play on their Steam Deck that they just couldn't. It just didn't work. That would right there be a sign to a lot of the people who bought a Steam Deck that the Steam Deck is not going to hold up for the next couple years. It's already unable to keep up. So what do? You replace it. Because that's what you do with a pre-built, if you have the money to do it. And, well, that's what the Steam Deck is. It's a pre-built computer with a built-in screen that you can't close. It's a laptop, but in your hands instead of on your lap. Personally, I think I would still just buy a laptop. And, like, power to Steam. Like, I love that they made the product they made. Because, well, the Switch is a cool idea, and having a more powerful Switch is a pretty cool thing. It basically is showing us what, you know, if Nintendo sticks with this, what it will become. If they stick with the handheld console mix. And, like, that's pretty cool. Not gonna lie, that is really cool. To be able to see what we can expect out of, basically, the next generation Switch. But the fact that the Steam Deck is comparable to the Switch in performance, and the Switch is much older, much smaller, and doesn't have major issues when connecting to a 1080p display. It actually runs better when you connect it to an external display, unlike the Steam Deck that runs worse because the Switch is already running things at native 1080p. Like, that was the deciding factor for me to basically write off the original Steam Deck. Ignoring the fact that the base model Steam Deck is basically worthless. 64 gigs of storage space is not enough. And I don't know if you can, but even if you can upgrade the storage, that doesn't matter. Most people who are buying a pre-built machine, be that a games console, a computer, a laptop, a Steam Deck, most people are never going to upgrade that thing, even if they can. The most they might do is slap an SD card in it. Like, that is it. Like, I'm a slightly more tech-savvy than normal pre-built user, basically, who's evolved from using pre-builds. And now have my own custom-built computer. Which, I'll be honest, especially because it's my first and it was a lot of money, every little sound it makes that doesn't sound right, I get worried. Which I feel is fair, because I paid a lot of money for this thing. But, like, the mid console for the Steam Deck, the one with the 256 gig storage, that one is okay. That should really be the baseline. That should be the minimum storage. And I say that because even just going off of Valve's own games, once you install, say, Team Fortress 2, let's say CSGO. Oh, God damn it. Portal, Portal 2. You've probably gotten pretty close to capping that system off. Like, Team Fortress 2 itself is 20-some gigs. That's a third of your storage right there. Gone. Like, it's... And like I said, that's just Valve's own games. That's ignoring the fact that there are some modern games that not even the most modern, they're just some games that require more than 64 gigs of storage space. Like, let's say you bought a Steam Deck so that you could, play Ark Survival Evolved while you're out and about. Well, guess what? Ark Survival Evolved is well over 100 gigs. So if you bought the base model, you're shit out of luck. You cannot fit that game onto that model of Steam Deck because it just does not have the storage space. Even the 256 gig version, that's basically well over half of your storage space gone just to download Ark, but some people like their Ark. I honestly doubt Ark runs very well on the Steam Deck either, but that's beside the point, if it even runs at all, because it probably has an anti-cheat built in. I don't know if it does or not. Which is another big problem with the Steam Deck. And once again, like, I'm not bashing Valve here. Like, they did an impressive thing. Valve does a lot of impressive things that just don't work out. I mean, this isn't even their first foray into home systems. The, what was it called? Steam Link, I think? Cop car! Jesus Christ! That cop had a death wish! This is why you never take your hands off the wheel, even when there's cops, especially when there's cops around, I guess. It's like the new bus. Okay, I can get back into this lane now. Valve's previous Steam home offering, I forget what it's called. It didn't do so well, and then Valve basically started giving them away because they needed to get rid of them. And like the people who ended up getting them were like, yeah, this is pretty cool. I wouldn't have bought it, but it's pretty cool. You know, that's kind of where the Steam Deck is for me. It very much seems like it's pretty cool. I wouldn't buy it, but if I could get one for free, I wouldn't mind. But the biggest issue that I see the Steam Deck having, especially if Valve continues down the route of Steam Deck, is it's Linux-based. Linux is just not there yet. Not as a gaming operating system. Case in point, if a game has an anti-cheat, you can't play it on Linux. Or at least if you can, that anti-cheat has to be specifically built and tailor-made for Linux. And even then, honestly, this is just my opinion here. Once again, nothing against Linux, nothing against Steam. Linux users shouldn't be allowed to play a game that can be easily cheated in, like a TF2. Because Linux makes it a lot easier to make and run cheats. Because it's so open-ended. There is no built-in protections from your own operating system to try to prevent you from cheating in games. There is on Windows. There is on Apple. There isn't on Linux. Like, you basically have to disable all your Windows security to install cheats on a Windows machine. At least ones that aren't going to get flagged within the first, like, minute of you using them. Which anyone who's followed the Escape from Tarkov explosion will know that, yeah, the cheat creators can do some really shady shit, and you have no way of knowing they're doing it. You could assume, but you have no way of knowing, because that's how their program is built. But, like, the competitors for the Steam Deck that are coming along, the Asus Ally is the most recent one. It's the one that is probably most likely to dethrone the Steam Deck. It's running Windows 11. So there is no game it will not be able to play. There is literally nothing the Asus Ally will not be able to play, as long as it's not like some Apple-locked game. You know, or just a game that it physically can't run, which I imagine there are still probably a few, but I imagine it can at least run mostly every modern game at least low settings. We don't know yet. It's literally still so early that we don't even know the specs of it, other than it has a Zen 4 AMD APU in it. Unlike the Steam Deck, that has a Zen 3? Or Zen 2? One of them. It's not great. It's not a great. Like, I imagine you could probably get... I actually wonder if anyone's tested to see which desktop AMD CPU is most comparable to the Steam Deck. Someone probably has. Because that would make building your own comparable computer to a Steam Deck a lot easier to do. Like, if the 5700G is equal in performance, that's a lot cheaper. I'll never do this, but I see I have a message, so I need to... I don't need to, but I want to check it out. If only he was watching my stream. And he would know. I'll have to... One of my friends was literally just asking me if I had ever considered getting one of those handheld computers. And honestly, like, I'm gonna answer him directly later, but I'll basically answer him here too. Not really. Like, if I were to get anything portable, it would probably just be another laptop. Especially now that, like, laptop CPUs are catching up to desktop in performance. Like, they're not fully there yet, but they're catching up, and you can generally get pretty good performance out of a laptop GPU these days as well. It's still not great, but it's catching up. Like, if I needed something for, like, on-the-go video editing, like if my channel blows up and I need to start traveling more, I'll probably end up getting, you know, a Zen 4 AMD laptop. Maybe. I might honestly stick with Intel at this point. It really just depends on what is the most bang for my buck, because I don't think I'm ever going to get out of that mindset. Even if I had hundreds of thousands of dollars, I would still probably go for the most value for my money. And like, yep, there goes YouTube being YouTube. Hold on. Yes, I am still watching. I'll actually turn the shuffle on. Boot playlist. Back to here, get that back open. Get my cruise control back to 90. But like, there's a lot of things that I would love to see in the gaming space. And one is, like, basically one of the things, and it's slowly happening, is upgradable laptops. There's no reason why we can't have laptop motherboards built to have interchangeable parts. There is no reason why it can't be done, and Framework has proven that. Now we just need other companies to come forward and start doing the same thing. I'd also like to see these handhelds become the same way. There's no reason why they can't be upgradable, other than basic greed. Because, well, if you can upgrade a machine, you don't have to replace that machine, and if you don't have to replace the machine, then that company that makes that machine doesn't get more money out of you. Except they could if they just sold those upgrade parts themselves. Hello, Sean. But like, if you could turn to Valve and buy a replacement, say, APU for a Steam Deck to bring it into good usable performance, maybe a RAM upgrade for the Steam Deck, a storage upgrade for the Steam Deck, all from Valve themselves, then Valve still makes money. They just make less money per transaction, but would probably end up having more transactions overall, especially because there's going to be weird enthusiasts who want to put, you know, a Steam Deck part in a PC. I'm doing fairly well. How are you doing, Sean? Well, just rambling. There's been no one here, so I'm just rambling. Like, I don't think the Steam Deck is gonna go anywhere. I just don't. It's probably here to stay. But, like, I do disagree with the notion that Linux gaming is just how to go with handhelds, because it's not. Linux gaming is not the way to go until Linux gaming catches up with Windows gaming and becomes plug and play. Nope, no one's been chatting at all. Like I said, no one's been here. It's a Tuesday, and it's through the day in North America. It's actually still early morning on the other coast. Not really early morning, it's closing in on afternoon, I suppose. So, because I'm in Atlantic Canada, so I am literally 4 hours ahead of the average North American person, it seems. As most tend to be on the other coast. The reason I just kind of talk, even though there's no one in the chat, is because, like, say if you showed up at the stream and I was just sitting here, like, you're not going to be too likely to stay. which is why I talk. Because not talking basically says to anyone showing up, oh, this guy isn't even, you know, it could just be a pre-recording, and they just have the face cam because why not? I mean, I do just kind of have the face cam because why not? I have the webcam, and I discovered I had an extra USB port. I knew I had, I just didn't know how to plug anything into it because there was a bit of a metal bracket in the way. So I bent the bracket out of the way, and now I have the USB plugged in. I don't know if that's how I'm supposed to have done it. I don't really, like, this is my first custom-built computer. It's definitely not my first pre-built. I've had 2 of those, and 2 laptops. 3 laptops. Yeah, I am playing a truck simulator. American Truck Simulator. It's a pretty fun game, honestly. It's one of these games that, looking at it, like just watching this, you're probably like, how is that fun? It just is, and I can't really explain it. Yeah, one of the things also that I would just like to see from PC gaming in general is Linux catch up with everyone else. Like, and I don't really say that to bash the Linux operating system too much, but it's so decentralized. Yeah, I know, I don't pay for a subscription on YouTube. YouTube Red exists so that you can basically pay YouTube to not have to watch ads, or you can just download an ad blocker. I do want to finish my thought I had going before you showed up. I do apologize for bouncing back and forth, but I can continue that thought and still go back and forth with you, so... Like, currently with Linux, there's like 3 versions of Mint. I think it's Mint. There's a lot of different versions of like the base, like Ubuntu and all that. Like there's so many different operating systems that are all Linux. Even SteamOS, that's a different version of Linux that if it had just been worked on as part of one OS, I imagine Linux would be a lot further along instead of everyone doing their own thing. Oh, I've never had Domino's. Though I'm not the biggest fan of the fast food-esque pizza places. A lot of their stuff tastes frozen, if that makes any sense. Like, you can tell that some of the things they use have been frozen before. But I've never had Domino's, so I don't know whether I would like them or not. I have had Pizza Hut and Pizza Delight and not Giuseppe. That's a frozen pizza brand. I have had that, but not that. What is it called? Greco. Hate Greco. Between the 3 fast food pizza places I've had, Greco is the worst. Pizza Delight is eh. And Pizza Hut was okay. I don't even know if there is a Domino's near me. Let's see. Don't text and drive. Don't use your phone and drive is what that really should be. I think the nearest one's probably going to be in Halifax, which is way too far away. Oh, yeah. There's two in Halifax, but that's like an hour-and-a-half drive away. So I can't even if I wanted to, I couldn't try it. That they do. I don't like Subway, though. Mostly because, and you might not get that impression from watching me on here, I am an anxious little shit. Like, I have severe social anxiety, and having to manually, like, physically tell them every single little topping I want on the sandwich sucks. They really just need a menu for anxious people. Though, even then, their food isn't the best. Like, you could make a better sub yourself, which is also part of my issue with Subway, but... I mean, that's fine. You're free to like it. I don't mind their food. It's just not the best. I very much prefer making my own food when I can. Because one, it tends to be cheaper. And two, it tends to taste better. Especially if you can make things more, like, the more from scratch you can make something, the better it will taste. Like, a good example being, like, pies. Making your own pie crust from scratch will taste better than even the best pre-made pie from, like, a supermarket. Depends on the kind of biscuits you mean. If you mean British biscuits, yes. American biscuits, no. I don't make bread rolls. I've made bread before, though. Damn it, I've already done one of these. Alrighty. Do another weight inspection. Calling my truck fat. I really should just turn off the wait stations. They're just kind of annoying. I know they add some level of realism, but they are just really annoying. I have been to Walmart. It was actually a really big day, the day that a Walmart opened in my hometown. My hometown is in the middle of nowhere, Nova Scotia, Canada. And I don't live there anymore, so I'm fine saying what town it is. It's Digby, Nova Scotia. It is literally the middle of nowhere. Like, our gaming store was a place called Long Branch, which basically was a mom and pop gaming store. That then once a place called Rent-A-Movie, I think it was? Was that the other place? I don't remember. One of the big rental companies that wasn't Blockbuster moved in and basically killed their business. So they then transitioned to selling potatoes. No joke. They basically changed over to being like a local grocer kind of thing. Long Branch. They aren't an actual, like, big gaming store. Not to my knowledge, anyway. It's still there, I think. They may have closed down, though. Like, the day the Walmart opened was a big day. Because that meant we actually had, like, a proper game store. Kind of. Like, they had a game department. You could go in there, you could buy brand new consoles, brand new games. We weren't, like, 5 years behind anymore. Because that was the thing, like, you could probably have gotten a brand new system at Long Branch, but it would have cost you so much more money than having just got it new from like a Walmart or just an EB Games. I have played Mario. I have played almost every Mario game. I say almost every game because there's a few on the 3DS I have not played. I've also not played the a lot of the new Super Mario Bros. Games. Like, not the newest ones, but the ones that are labeled new in brackets Super Mario Bros. I don't have it handy, but I actually have a SNES cartridge of basically all of the early Mario games. It's really cool. Came with our SNES. Kind of old. I say that. The SNES is older than me. But once again, lived in the middle of nowhere. So, like, the SNES was brand new to me. It's kind of one of those new to you kind of situations. Man, those signs are in like a really awkward spot. Oh god. I hit the brakes a little too hard. Just casually a truck pulling 3 other trucks. I need to remember that. I've also played a lot of the Mario Party games, and some of the Mario spin-off games, including one that most youngins have probably never played and probably never will play. Yep, this is a true-to-life simulator. You could literally, with enough fiddling, basically recreate reality in this game, kind of deal. Not fully realistic physics and such, but close enough. Like, you need to follow the speed limit, you need to stop at stop signs, your truck has weight, and that weight does matter. When it rains, the road becomes slick. Apparently 32 degrees in game. I am not looking forward to summer because it's gonna be around that hot here. It's gonna suck. I hate the heat so much. I'm a little worried about how my computer's gonna handle summer. Because, like, its cooling should be sufficient, but, like, I'm still worried. So I spent a lot of money on this thing. Is this one of these spots that... Yes, it has the turning lane. I kind of hate these turning lanes. Oh. Okay, this one works differently than most of them do. I thought I'd have a minute to take a drink. One of these. I got a minute to take a drink now. To finish my thought from earlier about gaming on Linux, if all of the Linux developers, like all the various developers making their own different operating systems, would work together, they'd probably be pretty far along in catching up to Windows. They probably still wouldn't be there. But that's mostly just because there's a lot of things that just Linux just isn't supported with right now, because why would it be? It's wasted development time for most developers. Like, I get the Linux community really appreciates it when you develop something specifically with them in mind. But that does take development time. That does take effort and money. And the Linux user base is just not there. Even with Steam having sold, well, like Valve having sold well over 1 million Steam Decks, the percentage of people using Steam on Linux is less than 1%. And that's with over 1 million units sold of Steam Decks running Linux. Like, SteamOS isn't even the most popular Linux OS that's used with Steam. It's not even in the top 3. Like, it needs to really slow down. I think I'm just gonna go. Yeah, 79 will work. Bit too mountainous, bit too snaky for me to go much faster than that. Man, this game is pretty. Reasons like that. That's why I didn't want to go faster. Just given my weight, I'm gonna 70 this. still turns, I'm staying at 70. People can pass me here. Like, the things Linux does well as an operating system, it does well. Like, I'm not trying to bash Linux as an operating system. I mean, I've never used Linux, so maybe it's not as much of a hassle as it seems, basing off of, you know, watching other people having used Linux and hearing other people talk about how, yeah, like, it's great, but there's a lot of things you can't run, so you kind of have to dual boot your computer and have a partition for Windows and a partition for Linux so you can actually use your computer. Or that, you know, Linus Tech Tips and their Linux challenge, where most of the things that they were doing, that they normally do, they just couldn't do anymore because they were on Linux. Or it didn't work as well. The kind of toxic community around Linux also does not help. This is so sketch. I should not be overtaking. Doing sketchy things is what I do in this game. I'm gonna need fuel kind of soon. Of course this is gonna merge. Let me over you. This horn is so disappointing. That ain't a truck horn. I know I have an air horn button that actually is a proper, like, big horn, but, like, that's so sad. This segment seems nicer than the one I just came through. Why is the limit lower here? Whatevs. Also, I might as well make mention, like, the thing that got me thinking about the Steam Deck and Linux in general was a video by Linus Tech Tips, which, for those who may not know, is a Canadian tech channel, basically. Um, and they did a video of basically mocking their fans' hot takes. And also, I know I just did a really big no-no in driving, but, like, I need to get over here because turning lane, instead of just letting you turn from anywhere. Which will always kind of baffle me, because the whole thing is, like, keep right except to pass. That's just what you do. But then they always put the turning lane on the left. So if you don't know it's coming, well, you can't really be ready for it. But yeah, they did a video basically mocking their fans' bad takes, or hot takes. And one of the people was basically saying that the Steam Deck is a gimmick, and honestly, currently it is. It's just not powerful enough. It is a gimmick right now. Handheld gaming PCs are not a gimmick. They're here to stay. Just don't know if the Steam Deck is. Especially because the moment Valve loses interest in the thing, they're gonna just drop it and move on. That just seems to be how they work. Half-Life 3, TF3, Portal 3. They're really bad at counting to 3. Though, like, a few of the hot takes that they disagreed with, I kind of disagree with their disagreement of it. Like, one of the things was someone basically saying that ray tracing is a gimmick. And it is. Ray tracing, as it stands, is a gimmick. Like, the argument Linus was using was like, well, in the future, it might be more accessible, and in a perfect utopia, it would make lighting easier for developers and all that. It's like, okay. But we're not in a perfect utopia. And currently, to get decent, to run a game at ultra quality with ray tracing on, you basically need a graphics card that is more expensive than a car. Cheap car, but a car. Like, you can buy cars for less than a 4090 or a 4080. Or even a 4070 Ti. Like, it's very much a case of ray tracing as it stands is a gimmick of the high-end NVIDIA cards. And given the relative pricing increases over the years, NVIDIA is becoming the luxury brand. And, like, I know the argument is, well, they can't lower their price because of what they do. And, they're so good and they've got all these things. Like, okay. My RX 6700 here has less than 2,000 AMD streaming cores. And NVIDIA 3050 has like 2,000 to 3,000 CUDA cores. They could cut some CUDA cores. You don't need as many as you've got. And, like, this is working perfectly. I mean, I don't know. Maybe there's some artifacting being caused by just hell the AMD stream cores, but I'm not seeing it. Oh god, train tracks. Okay, I'm in train country now. Almost at my destination. Oh, I think I need to be on the right. I thought I'd need to be over here because it looked like the flag was on the other side of the road. Well... But, like, there are ways NVIDIA could cut costs. An easy way they could cut costs is stop putting as many AI cores on your graphics cards. But they've decided AI is the future. And I mean, it is. But the average user does not need AI cores. I'ma just skip because I think I was kind of wedged. Money. Plus, I just got 2,653 XP. An extra 15 is not gonna matter. Let's see. Freight market from here. Ooh, that's a lot of money. It's another really long trip, but that's a lot of money. Do I want to go to Washington? I don't think I do. It's pretty close to Canada, though. I could. You know what? I may as well. It's part of this game I've not gone to, so... And I'm assuming, yeah, the job is literally right here. Oh, getting that out is going to be an experience. Oh, I need to do this now. Look at them trucks propped up on each other. I need to get around this trailer. It's literally just trucks. The front one's attached to something, but the others are just attached to the front truck. Need to get this. Now I need to get this past that trailer. Which I think I can do. Without hitting the barricade. That's the important part here. Okay, I got it. Up onto the curb. I need to get some gas before I leave. That's for sure. For sure. Not in California anymore. Making that joke doesn't really work. How do you get into there? That spot. Okay, there's the pumps I need. Lots of room. That's good. Well, I say lots of room. I really don't have lots of room, but I've got enough. Diesel. Drink the petrol. Wait, why is it suddenly telling me to go back the other way? It was telling me to go this way before. Oh, because I can't. Okay, well, I can, and I'm going to. I just need to wait for the traffic over there to clear. And then I'm going to do something that you should never do. Ever. Do as I say, not as I do. Okay, well, this close lane to me seems fine. I'm just gonna, Yep. Yep. Oh, that sign. Yo, what's up? Never do that. What I just did is very illegal and dangerous. Do as I say, not as I do. Oh, how does this spaghetti mess work? I need to go here, I think. What the ever... What? What was that intersection? Did they just pay a guy to paint lines and he got like $500 per line? So he just painted all of the lines and then they built the road around the lines he painted? Like, what? Yeah, like, ray tracing to me is a gimmick. Like, even if I had bought like an RTX 3060 or 3070, I'd probably never use ray tracing. Because I would rather have more frames than fewer frames, but slightly prettier lighting. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me to go for fancy lighting at the cost of 50-60% of your graphics card's performance. Like, going back to the Hogwarts Legacy comparison, from benchmarking people have done, an RTX 4090, the most powerful graphics card on the market right now, at 1440p, loses like 40% of its frames to turn on ray tracing on ultra quality. Like, it dips down to like some 80 frames per second at 1440p, where it's well over 140 before. like, you could actually play it on a 144 hertz monitor at 1440p without ray tracing on. With it on, it's gonna look bad because your refresh rate is faster than the frame rate you're getting. Unless you literally turn on variable refresh rate. In which case it'll probably still look fine, but like, the more frames would be better. And at 4K, forget about it. Your average is like 60 FPS. That's the average. Your lows will be in the 40s to 50s. Meaning, while it plays and you can get average 60, it's not stable 60. So you're effectively playing it at 30 FPS to play it 4K ray tracing on a 4090. Now sure, Hogwarts Legacy could just be really badly optimized for ray tracing. I will freely admit that. I have hiccups, I'll also admit that. But like, to say ray tracing isn't a gimmick, while there are things clearly demonstrating that it is, namely that the most powerful graphics card currently on the market can't really handle a modern game with ray tracing on. I just don't buy it. I hear train. I only have to deal with the train, but I hear it. Slava Ukraine! I had to use Ukrainian flag truck. Right there, I basically just said exactly how I stand on that conflict. Russia can go suck one. That is something. I honestly, I don't understand this. There are people defending companies like Gaijin Entertainment, who makes a war-based game called War Thunder that has modern military vehicles in it, for censoring the fact that some of those vehicles have been used in the war in Ukraine because, well, you know, it's too political to mention that these things were there, and it's, you know, it's politically uncomfortable. How? How is it politically uncomfortable to state a fact? Like, it's not even they're taking a stance one way or another. It's these vehicles saw service in the conflict in Ukraine. Like, that is literally all people have been trying to say. Because it's true. And that is something that people probably will want to know. Then again, other than the fact that they are mostly a Russian company, they're not fully based in Russia, but they have ties to Russia, and it's very obvious. Like, other than that, I don't see how it's, controversial in the slightest to condemn Russia's blatant and flagrant violations of international law. It is literally against international law to even invade the sovereign territory of another nation without justification. And Russia's justification isn't justification. Which is kind of the problem with their whole argument of, well, the people of Ukraine want this. No, they don't. They've made it very clear they don't. They've made it very clear they never did. Oh, God. Damn it. I just got up to speed and everything. There's a truck ahead of me, because of course there is. Actually, I'm going to use this moment to quickly step away and grab some coffee. So I will be back in a moment. I will get the music running again. I will be back. Alrighty. Really wish YouTube would stop frickin' pausing the music. It'd be really nice. I should use the washroom while I was away as well. Oh well. Another hot take from the Linus Tech Tips video that it's one I half agree with. And that's basically that micro USB is just better than USB-C. And in some applications, it definitely is. Like, my phone chargers, I have many of them. I have many different cables for charging my phone. Currently grabbing one. Here is one of them. Really short little thing. This does not stay in my phone. Because there's nothing to hold it in. Wow. Who would have thought? A connector with no retention clips whatsoever might fall out of a device really easily. Like, this controller has retention clips built into the socket. Like, built into the USB-C plug, which is probably the only way cables stay plugged into it. Rather than just putting the retention clips on the cord, they seem to have gone with the mindset of, manufacturers can just put a retention clip in their device. Except a lot won't, because that adds cost. I hope I can bypass it, I just did one. I get to do a roundabouty turn. And I have no idea what part of the road I need to be on to even frickin' deal with that, so I'll just come into the middle and hope. Which means slowing down behind this bus. Huh? Okay, I need to turn out. I was going a bit faster than that, but there was really not much slowing down. If I slowed down much more, I was just going to stop. So... Hello, robotic. Maybe Pizza Tower. If I had the ability to do it, I would throw on the Pizza Tower OST right now, but I can't. We can chat while I do this if you would like. It's up to you, though. I'm also just not sure how long I'll even be streaming from here. I got a long ass trip ahead of me still, so. Hills. I mean, I really don't mind. I mean, it's a topic of discussion. So let me get around this turn so I can pause. Pausing in a turn is not a good. I may have to adjust audio levels as well. I don't know yet. Get these pulled over. Hello.
Oh, it's just pizza, like the pizza towers. Go pizza. Go to the pizza tower.
The pizza tower is a pretty neat place to be. Wait, I need to get that back on the Twitch first. I'm very good at this whole streaming thing.
Got two for you.
Do you really?
Yeah, boy.
Okay. Yeah, I'm actually gonna need to adjust audio a little bit. The game was a little too loud.
I'm gonna give people some ASMR.
Okay. I mean, it won't come across as ASMR because Discord. But yeah.
Oh man, it's the pizza tower. Pizza note. Okay, I'll stop inhaling the mic now.
That is fair. I mean, it's not like there's anyone really watching anyway. I think Sean left.
Oh no! That's okay, see, I'm here. People are gonna show up, right? They're gonna be like, oh, it's a gamer girl!
Be like, oh man, it's a girl, and they'll see me up in the corner and be like, ew, and then leave.
No! No.
I mean, you can't deny it. That will probably be some people's reactions.
I mean,
They
maybe
just, like,
some, because
They
there's
just like show up and just like hear your voice before they actually see the stream. Be like, oh man, it's a girl streaming, and then they'll see me, and it's like, oh no, it's a fat guy. I'm just gonna go now. It's like, okay.
maybe they'll stick around because they think that you're actually like doing the voice.
I doubt it.
That's some talent.
I do have to doubt that.
Yeah, well, whatever.
I mean, I doubt many people like that would actually show up to an American trucking simulator stream, but not many people show up to these anyway. I just like doing them because they're an easy stream. They're casual.
Yeah, you just looking
It's
for
kinda-
gamer girls while watching the American Truck Sim.
I mean, I could see some guys actually doing that. That would be more looking for girls that are not only game, but presumably know about vehicles. That is to say, I know nothing about vehicles. Anyone showing up here to be like, man, what do you think about this random car vehicle? It's like, I don't freaking know, man. Truck go burr. That's about it. That's all I know.
I'm really knowledgeable about cars. Okay, so there's Optimus Prime. There's Bumblebee.
Is there a Transformer that's a truck, but like all black?
Great question. Probably.
Cool. That's who I'm inside of right now.
Wait, there was like a Dark Optimus Prime clone. I remember this now.
So I'm in Dark Optimus Prime. Cool.
Yeah. Evil Optimus Prime.
And I'm just casually hauling like 3 other trucks. Because why not? The pay was good.
Dang. I just want you to know that I looked up Splatoon on Etsy, little Splatoon plush, because I wanted to see if they had any, and they had a couple of things, but like nothing I was interested in. But I like how some of the first stuff that came up was the plushes, the plush that I got, the moray eel, all the plushes from that person. They're not even Splatoon related specifically, but
they could
it,
be.
It seems that many other people have the same mindset of they look like Splatoon characters.
Which is fair, because they kind of do.
So, I just thought that was funny.
With how big the Splatoon fandom is, you would assume that there would be more stuff on Etsy.
You'd think, but there just really isn't. I mean, there's a lot of like really cute charms and stuff, but that's about it.
Especially because there are like janky third-party plushes for Splatoon you can find on Amazon. They look bad, but they exist, so like clearly there's a market for it, or else they wouldn't be there.
Yeah, there's more Owl House plushes than there is Splatoon plushes. I'm not even joking. Although, most, if not all of them, are on pre-order, so... But there was, one of the collector, and I'm like, maybe. I want the one collector plush that I saw on TikTok that someone bought. Or maybe they made it, I don't know. I think they bought it, though. It was so cute. These little shoes came off!
What you need is a collector plush. And then a 2 scale to that plush, king plush.
Yes.
And then a 2 scale to that king plush, king's plush.
Yes! Francois!
So you just have all 3 of them, just progressively smaller, but all, like, to proper scale.
Yeah.
I accidentally bumped the mic.
Oh.
Thank you.
But on the topic of the Splatoon plushes, or at least the plushes from that one person, they used to have a garden eel plush, but I think it's sold out because I don't see the listing for it anymore. But they do have a salmon, and then they have a little baby salmon that's hatching out of an egg, and its eyes like barely opening, like it's closed. It's so cute. It's so small. Like seeing it next. There was a picture of it next to the salmon, and it's like it's so small. And then they have keychains of the little baby salmon as well.
That is fair.
If anyone is in the stream, they probably have no idea what I'm talking about of the plushes of salmon. But they're... You know what? Can I free advertise?
Sure.
Look up Split Hairs on Etsy. They make really good plushes. Really good quality. Love them. I hope they make more different sea creatures. Right now they only have the ones that I mentioned.
They probably will.
Yeah, they're quite popular. So... Like, they've sold a lot. Yeah. Free advertisement. and like.
I mean, I shout out many different like YouTubers while I'm streaming, so I don't mind.
Good.
A plush maker isn't even competition for me, because we're in completely different spaces, so...
I mean, yeah. Artists on Etsy just make me happy.
That's fair.
Because, like, they care a lot about their work.
I mean, I'm sure some of them don't.
Well,
They just care
okay,
about
yeah.
the money, because that's just how every group of people works.
But most of them, a good majority of them. Dream Barbecue's not out yet. Yeah, I guess a fair warning, I change topics a lot and then go back.
I mean, I do the exact same thing, so... Like, because streaming, I just talk a lot, even if there's no one around, because, you know, as I was explaining earlier in the stream, if I'm just sitting here, like, blank-faced staring at the screen, people are just gonna leave without saying anything, because I'm not saying anything.
Yeah.
But, I was basically rambling about the Steam Deck for, like, an hour, and then Sean showed up, and I wanted to finish my thoughts on the Steam Deck, so I was literally, like, responding to what he was saying, and then going back to rambling about the Steam Deck and Linux, and, you know, normal me rants.
See, I was gonna say it's because I'm ADHD, but I don't even know if that's a ADHD thing. Sounds, I don't know. Regardless, yeah, I just switch topics all the time, and then go back.
I mean, I feel like that's just a normal human thing to do.
Yeah, but it'll be, like, so sudden.
I still feel like that's a pretty normal thing to do. I could be wrong, but, like, everyone I've ever talked to is very much like that.
Oh, that's fair. I don't know, man. I don't know what's normal.
Like, me and Connor talking, we tend to carry on, like, 3 conversations at the same time. So, like...
Steph, we have to play the April Fool's update for, yours.
Okay.
But I have to see if it's... Well, like, obviously not right now, but...
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm driving right now. So it'd be kind of irresponsible of me to play Roblox while driving. Let me just check my phone real quick.
Ah, yes. I'm gonna see if the update is still live, or if they... changed it back to normal. I hope that it is still a thing, because I've only seen, like... Sorry, I'm blanking a lot.
Is this okay?
I've only seen clips of it on TikTok, but it looks funny.
That is fair.
Oh, you go on TikTok? It's so cringe, guys.
I honestly still don't understand where that mentality comes from. Like, oh, TikTok is so cringe, but, like, Facebook is fine, Twitter is fine, Instagram is fine, but TikTok? Nah, that's cringe. What?
Okay, well, good news. Yes, the update is still live.
So we can play it after the stream. I mean, I'll need to eat, but I would say that wouldn't take me long, but we both know me and eating. That'll take me like an hour. But, I could probably play while eating once I eat this a little bit.
Guys, I'm on Roblox. It's so cringe, bro. I'm looking at the avatar items. I always look at newest stuff because I really want someone to make Ina eyes, so my an Ina face, so my cosplay is complete, but no one's done it yet. They've done so many other things.
Like
Oh my
super
god.
boobs.
We now have uh
Your mom?
frickin' what?
So we now have, I said, your mom.
Oh, yeah. Well, not just that, but we have Sonic umbrellas.
Good.
It's an umbrella and it has the Sonic character's head on top. There's a shadow one.
I mean, it works because it's raining in game right now, so I could use one of those.
Sonic umbrella. I would buy that.
I think a lot of people would. You know what I would buy faster? An
What?
Obama umbrella.
Yes.
Sure you remember that very bad Chinese knockoff of the weirdly miscolored Sonic with just Obama written under it?
Yeah, there's another one that said Harry Potter.
You know?
Like, dang, bro. Starfall is around to chat for like 45 minutes.
Go chat.
No, I don't want to freaking leave you.
But she's only gonna be around for like 45 minutes.
Okay.
I mean, I'll probably still be streaming, so...
I will return.
Okay. I'll actually move myself to, like, so you can just rejoin without having to...
Okay, bye everybody. Go play pizza.
Man, I love her. For anyone who doesn't have the context, that was my girlfriend. Robotic Galaxy is my girlfriend, and I love her. She is the best. I gotta say, though, with Pizza Tower as a bit of a chat prompt, that music is like really good if you need to like focus on something. Like some of my best runs in Mario Kart Time Trials was literally while I was jamming out to Pizza Tower OST. It's got some really good music. That game did not need to go that hard on the music, but you know, power to them. Like, it's really freaking good. It's one of those games where, like, part of me's like, man, I should get Pizza Tower so I can, like, stream it. But there's so many people streaming Pizza Tower and doing Pizza Tower stuff that I'd probably just get lost in the shuffle. Like, that's kind of just the thing with streaming, is finding a game that you want to stream. Ah, jeez. Jeez. Dump truck. That was your fault. It's not even a dump truck. It just kind of looked like one. My truck's all damaged. I need to get back up to speed, if I even can, because my engine might be damaged. I hope it isn't damaged, but it might be. What? Where? Oh. Now they're gonna probably scold me for my truck being damaged. Yep. I was being careful. I was being perfectly careful. It was the other truck not being careful. But like, with even like American Truck Sim here, like, I enjoy playing it, but as evidenced by everything being like 1 viewer on Twitch, probably 0 on YouTube, no one really is that interested in watching this game. Or at least they're not interested in searching out people watching this game. Playing this game. I can speak. I'm very good at it. Like, I know Splatoon is a pretty decent game for streaming. I just need to actually play it more so I can actually get decent at the game again. So I'm not very good at it. Because I kind of ended up taking a really long break. Like, I'm pretty sure I streamed, like, the test fire for Splatoon 3. And then, like, I streamed a bit after that, and then I lost all my motivation to stream, and with that went also my motivation to play Splatoon. So, like, I've had the game from day one, and I'm about the skill level of a noob. Well, there's other things that, like, I could do, but some of them I feel would just work better as a video series. Especially with how I want to do them. Like, I've done streams of Pokemon games, but none of them have ever been terribly serious. Like, I want to do, like, a proper walkthrough, giving, like, actual, like, useful information about the Pokemon from basically the viewpoint of a competitive player, because I used to play competitively. Well, I say that. I used to play High Ladder Smogon. That was back, like, Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire, Sun and Moon is when I really got into it, though I started getting into it with, like, Black and White. As with most people, Gen 4 or 5 is generally when they got started with competitive Pokemon. Welcome to Idaho. But, like, I have a decent grasp of the competitive scene. I could probably pick up Smogon competitive again, like, today, and probably get back into high ranks. Like, especially some of the things I've seen from the competitive community these days. Like, not to sound rude or offensive, but man, have they become whiners. Oh, we gotta try to ban King's Rock because it's too busted. I don't want to bring something on my team to counter Cloyster. I shouldn't have to. They should just ban King's Rock. Just bring the counter. If it's that big of an issue, there will be a counter. I mean, it's not like Skill Link King's Rock Cloyster is anything new. It's been being used since Cloyster got access to Skill Link, basically. Bright Powder's been banned because it's too much RNG to have 10% lower accuracy. As if that 10% lower accuracy is ever actually going to matter in the grand scheme of things. The Focus Band, that's been banned because 10% chance to survive an attack, that's too much RNG. Oh, game, why? Why are you going so slow? Oh, it's because you're also pulling in. Of course you are. These wait stations are so annoying. Do these really exist? Are these actual things that exist? Because if they do, America, get your shit together and get rid of them. This is a hazard. Like, the fact that I had to slow down, change lanes on the highway so I could pull in to have my truck weighed. That is a problem. There could have been an accident. In reality, there probably would have been. But given I'm fined for ignoring it, you know, I mean, I've got the money. I could eat the fine. After this job, I'm literally gonna have over $1 million. But still, like, oh man, I'm still 36 tons, just like I was 10 minutes ago. Yeah, but I'm building up speed to actually get back onto the highway at speed. And the game says, no, you're not. You're driving on the shoulder for a while because turn signals don't exist, apparently. See, there was an accident. I would be one of those drivers that would road rage so much, wouldn't I? right here. Why? This is the highway. These on-ramps are meant to get you up to highway speed. That's the point of them. Like, America, please. I know that wasn't an America problem, that's just the AI in this game is way too conservative on its speed. Like, these are going about 70 kilometers an hour. Speed limit's 113. Don't care. I can eat the fines. They've slowly picked up speed. 100 kilometers, that's Canadian highway speeds. Like, I get it's raining, but it's not like this is a sharp, turny road. You could go faster. Yeah, another gem I've heard from the current Pokemon competitive community is that prediction is pointless. That there's no point trying to predict your opponent because you can't know what they're gonna do. No, you can't know, but you can have an idea. Like, if you're just gonna sit there and click the best option for that situation every time because, well, you can't know what they're gonna do, instead of trying to be like, okay, well, you know, they've got, let's say, a Dawn fan, and you've got Sun Up and a Mono with Solar Beam. But they've got something that quad resists grass in the back. They're probably going to swap their Dawn fan out for that thing in the back that quad resists grass because you could Solar Beam. But you've got something that'll be super effective against that thing that quad resists grass. So you click that. You know, you go with what they're most likely to do. The times where I would run into an opponent that was just clicking the best possible option every time, like, that was always really nice. Low average, or 1K. Average? I don't know. Names? You've got 2 now, I guess. Man, Tuhu music. Kind of. It's a Disciples track. I think all of those have Tuhu in them. That is fair. Oh god, the AI's going slow again. Why are you doing this to me, AI? Why are you doing this to me? You're supposed to be intelligent, artificial intelligence. Though I'm keeping up decently well, like I'm not gaining on them per se. That is fair. I need to stream TF2 again at some point. Because I still, like, enjoy that game. I just don't play it much anymore. I wonder if I can still do that trick with Medic to keep Uber on 2 people. Boise. I think it's actually boys, but I don't know. It's Boise. Yeah, it's kind of sad to see those go. But, like, keeping them running was definitely costing Nintendo money, and not really making them money anymore. I basically just made sure I had everything I wanted downloaded, and that was about it. I hope that it means we'll probably get a remaster of Monster Hunter 4 at some point, because now all of the DLC for that game is not downloadable anymore. Because it was all through the 3DS eShop. I'd actually love to see some of the old Monster Hunter games remastered into the current control scheme. That'd be really nice. Like, Capcom could literally do that to fill gaps between, like, the end of Sunbreak and the beginning of the next game. Nampa? Napa? Like, I know a lot of people are sick of remasters, and I kind of am too. But I think I'd be okay with remasters of the old Monster Hunter games brought into, like, the current controls. Especially the first Monster Hunter game. Like, the very first Monster Hunter game on the PS2. It's cool, don't get me wrong, but the controls are jank. Like, if you've ever played a Monster Hunter game on console, you know the controls are jank. They're kind of designed to be jank, but once you get used to them, they actually work really well. The original game, how you performed attacks was swiping the right stick around. You waggled your right stick to attack. That is just how you did it. Left and right was light attacks, up and down was strong attacks. Like, that's so weird. Ontario? When did I get into Canada? I must have taken that wrong turn at Albuquerque. I know it's a place in the US as well. I'm making fun of these names because I can. I fully expect any Americans to do the same with Canadian names. gonna need fuel again soon. Yep, there goes YouTube pausing my music again. Thanks, YouTube. You're a real pal, YouTube. I totally wanted my music paused. I mean, sometimes it'll pause and I won't even notice, so, you know. There is a lot of games that probably lost some of their functionality because of the eShops shutting down. But at the same time, I can still understand why they did it. I don't like it. I don't like any digital shop shutting down because, like, it's one of those things of that eShops being able to be shut down is exactly why we need piracy and video game conservation. Whether these big companies will acknowledge that or not. Because there's a lot of games now that, without piracy and video game conservation efforts, would now just be abandonware lost to time. And, like, you could argue a lot of those games are probably crap. But every game is somebody's first game. Every game is somebody's favorite game because it was their first. You know. And the fact that we've now lost some of those without piracy sucks. It just sucks. Not helped by just the number of games that never get remastered, never get re-released. They're just gone into the ether. I mean, it's one of those things of, like, as much as they were kind of a joke, that's one thing Atari was doing right way back in the day with their old consoles. Because the Atari 2600, 5200, and 7200, the 7200 could play every previous game. It was fully backwards compatible. Not even Windows games are fully backwards compatible. Like, there are some games made for old, like, Windows 95, 98 that just do not work anymore. You cannot play them on a modern system because the hardware has just changed too much. You physically cannot play them anymore. Not without extensive reworking and modding to make the game work. I kind of wish the games industry as a whole, actually I can pause right here. I kind of wish the games industry as a whole would have actually taken a page from Atari's book and prioritized backwards compatibility. If they had, we'd be in a much better place. I mean, I myself would want it taken a step further to cross-compatibility as well, within reason. Like, I'm not saying, like, you should be able to put an Xbox game in a PlayStation. This thing turns like a brick. I gotta remember that. But, like, it'd be really nice if, like, a PS5 had a slot for you to put in the compact disc of a PSP. And then have a built-in emulator for PSP games. Or because that would bloat consoles, that would. Include a way to basically scan that PSP game to prove you own it, and then you get a emulated downloaded copy on your PS5. Oh. Well, okay then, those games still work then. That's good. I was kind of sad about that for a bit. But now I know they'll still work. Hooray. Still wouldn't mind having those games remastered. Oh boy, 2 trucks. And this is twisty turny. I should probably also slow down here. I'll go 95. I'm glad Capcom thought ahead there. I want modern controls. I mean, nothing against the older controls, it's just the modern ones feel so much nicer. And it's kind of nice not everything working on a grid. Well, I'd hope I could bypass a wait station. Jesus Christ, why is there one there? What? Oh, I need to get back into that lane. Which means... Okay, no, I didn't. The road's just stupid. Never mind. What is this road? What is this road system, I should say? America, why do you do this? Why are you like this, America? Yeah, I don't think a truck is going to be going that fast around there. It probably would have flipped over and crashed already. Man, I hope so. Honestly, I feel like past just eShops closing down being an argument for piracy in of itself, I feel like this should be an argument against DLC as a whole. That's, like, not supported by the company itself, but supported by the shop. Because, like, there's probably a lot of games that have lost their DLC. And a lot of games, that DLC is content that really should have just been in the base game in the first place. I mean, like, I'm old enough to remember when DLC started becoming a thing. And I remember the initial justifications people had of like, oh, well, it's just some costumes. It's just, you know, it doesn't matter. It doesn't impact the game at all. And then I remember the realization people had of, oh, wait, game developers themselves are saying these costumes were, you know, already made and could have been put onto the game. You know, because that's a fun fact. The art team for a game is probably done working and making those DLC costumes about 6 months before the game ships, if not sooner. Like, the art team is generally done first. That's why DLC started with costumes, because the art team is generally done first, and it gave them something to put the art team to work doing. But literally, there's no justification for why that couldn't just be added to the game. Like, if it's ready for the day one patch and the day one DLC, it could have been included with the game. If it's ready day one. But nah, it's just, and it's only a few cents. It's just nickel and diming you. And nowadays, you get games where most of the game is locked behind DLC. And not in one chunk of DLC either. It'll be like 4 or 5 chunks of DLC. That was drip fed to people at the time. I say while I play a game that has a lot of DLC. But at least this DLC doesn't fundamentally add, like, a huge amount. It does, but it doesn't. Like, unlocking a new state to drive through is nice, but, like, I don't need Texas. I can get the full game experience without ever buying Texas. I don't think I'd want Florida. Probably. Don't forget Florida Man. Florida Man would have to make an appearance. Local supervillain Florida Man. Well, I suppose more local anti-hero Florida Man. God, I want that to actually be a comic. Someone needs to actually make a Florida Man comic. And, like, give him powers based on all of the, like, the most common Florida Man news articles. It probably exists. I need that. I need to read it. While naked. That would be an important part of this. God, it would have been so perfect if Robotic could rejoin while I was saying while naked. Oh, that would have been beautiful. She is off chatting with of her friends. That, like, I would have said could have just joined the stream as well, but like, when the two of them are together, I don't really say too much because they're constantly like they're good friends. They're constantly bantering back and forth. Plus, I'm an anxious little shit, so. Plus, our friend was only gonna be around for like 40-some minutes anyway. Oh, little white car, why are you there? Get in your lane. It's my lane now. Stay in your lane, white car. Frickin' white privileged car. I swear that is as controversial as I will get this stream. At least I hope. That was a stutter. I hope the computer's not getting too hot. It shouldn't be getting too hot. But it has been warmer lately. There is a horror game where you play as a retail worker. So that's kind of Walmart Simulator. It's like Night of the Consumer or something like that. A lot of YouTubers played it. I worked night shift at a supermarket, so I didn't have to deal with customers. Though, I have been back to reapplying to jobs, so... I may end up getting another job at some point, or I might not. It really all depends. I'm definitely not desperate enough to reapply to the Superstore. Not yet, anyway. Given I've made money from my streaming, technically I've not broken the deal I made that I would, even though I have started, alright, have a good day. Average? Ah, jeez. It's just the easiest way to remember your name, I apologize. I have started reapplying anyway, but even if I hadn't, I still wouldn't have broken the deal I made to start reapplying, because part of that was if I didn't make money from my stream before the end of April. And I did make money, thanks to AI. Man, it's foggy. I don't remember fog. Was that an effect I just had turned off before because my computer couldn't handle it? Probably. Oh god, it's probably gonna want me to weigh again. Yep. Of course. guys realize how annoying this is? Oh man, I'm 1 ton lighter because of probably damage and missing a lot of my fuel. I am glad I have the largest possible fuel tank. I don't know if this trip would have been possible without it. Just gonna drive off into the woods and get lost. You know, I could imagine that someday we're gonna get to the point where this kind, like what I'm doing right now, is just how trucking is done. Or at least able to be done. Or you just have someone sitting at home, basically driving it with a controller. I mean, I say that because there's literally military vehicles that are like that. And not like drones, I mean literal ground vehicles that are autonomous, that are driven from remote locations. So, like, I could imagine trucking going the same sort of route. The pay would definitely be lower, but... And there would probably be, like, requirements of, like, hardware that you needed. Like, you would probably need, like, regulation, steering wheel, pedals, everything that a normal vehicle would have. Like, I could very easily see that happening. Like, I don't think trucks are ever going to be used for self-driving. There's way too much risk involved. Especially because, like, you couldn't program a truck to self-drive park itself. You know. Woo. Why did my game pause? Did I accidentally push a button? I might have accidentally pushed a button with my controller. Wait. Yes, I did. Oh, this is a dangerous proposition. Okay. My keyboard registers key presses very quickly, even though there is a decent amount of travel on the keyboard. It's a really nice thing about this keyboard. Like, for as long as this thing keeps working, I am probably going to keep using this Corsair keyboard. And I'll probably replace it with the same keyboard whenever it does ultimately break. Because, man, this is a nice keyboard. There's a built-in frickin' Stream Deck. It's only a 6-button Stream Deck, but it has a built-in Stream Deck. As much as I'm not using it for that, it does have that functionality, which is really nice. The key presses are nice, even though it's not even a mechanical keyboard. I mean, it'll ultimately depend on just how much money I have when this keyboard breaks, but... because it will break. All technology breaks eventually. So thinking of that did actually remind me. I had an idea that there's no way it would ever actually happen. But it would be really nice if companies like AMD and Intel and like motherboard manufacturers like ASRock, Asus, Gigabyte would take basically trade-ins on old hardware for a discount or free newer hardware. So like I could effectively take my i9 or my i5 9400 or whatever it is, terrible CPU, and that motherboard and trade them in with, say, Dell for a new CPU and motherboard of comparable value. So by modern standards, that would be like an LGA 1700 socket motherboard with an i3 13100. And like either get a discount on that or just get it free for trading in the older parts. Like that would be really nice. The problem with that is that would lower profits for said manufacturers. Because they would then have to resell that old part before they make anything off of that deal. Or at least make the original cost back. But it would still be very nice if they would do that. Jesus, what happened here? I'm just gonna skip because I don't think I can get the trailer in. Yeah, leveled up. Money. Guess I'll take another fragile cargo. Now, I need to repair. I also need gas. I wish there was just a service station up there. That looks like a nuisance to get into, but I can get to there after. Yeah, they probably have a job for me to haul trucks around if I wanted to do probably another really long haul trip. Given it's almost been 3 hours, I might just fix up my truck and then end the stream. Fix up, refuel, not crash into a fence. But, like, theoretically, these companies could do that kind of thing and still make profit. Because, like, my old computer...
Once a piece. Pizza tower. Yeah, tower.
Hello.
Hello.
You may have made me jump. Wait, what? How's this road? Oh, America, why is your intersection stupid? How do I get to where I'm going? I mean, follow the GPS, that's how. But I thought I was. Oh, I'm so confused. this way, I think.
So what you think about? What's going on?
Roads being stupid, that's what. I was also just rambling about an idea I had that would never happen because the profit margin would be too low on for companies to actually do this. But if it would be really cool if like you could trade in old computer parts with the manufacturer that made them for a discount or free newer stuff depending on the value of the old stuff.
Oh yeah.
Like that would be really cool. But it would never happen. Like I'm naturally optimistic, but like I'm realistic enough to know that yeah, that would never happen.
You know what will happen?
Pizza Town.
Yeah, that too. Just goes to the owl house. It's very neighborly. I'm like half asleep. I slept a lot.
I have the feeling you've just not been resting well lately, and the sleep banks debt collectors are catching up to you.
Yeah, I keep waking up and
I
then going
know.
back to sleep and then waking up.
And those debt collectors are relentless. I just wish they would actually show up for me. That'd be nice.
Me and Starfall are gonna watch the Owl House at like 9 o'clock tonight, so I have to be awake then.
That is fair.
Also, hello, YouTube. I always join when no one is chatting in the chat.
You only just missed average. So like you've been gone for like 10 minutes. Which in, you know, the length of this stream is almost nothing. Which I am probably actually going to end the stream here after I refuel, because I have been going for almost 3 hours. And I am hungry.
Dang, bro, go eat.
I'm driving. And I need fuel. And I don't want to forget to refuel. Because this is me. You can't say I wouldn't forget, because I would.
Well, whatever.
I'm waiting on a red light and 3 trucks ahead of me. Should I just do something very illegal?
Depends.
Maybe
What
get
kind
me
of
to
illegal?
fuel faster. I'm gonna do
What are
it.
you,
Going
what are you gonna
off-road.
do?
Going off-road,
Oh,
kind of. I'm just gonna drive on the shoulder. Oh, there was a car up here too. Hey guys. Just gonna squeeze right on past you here. Just gonna sneak right on past you. I mean, it's not the most illegal thing I've done this stream, so, you know. That's something, right?
I mean, sure.
I mean, I was literally checking my phone legitimately at one point, so. Because I had noticed I had a message on Facebook, so I was like, I should probably, like, check that, but I can't really, like, tab out to check it. So, well, I could have, but I would have had to pause. It would have been a whole ordeal. So I just used my phone. I also basically jumped a road divider
Dang, bro.
because it was being stupid. So yeah, that is going to be it for today's stream. Whole stream number 8 of 150. I'm very good at this. Thank you everyone for coming out and watching. Thank you, Robotic, for joining me.
You're welcome.
And hopefully I shall see people back here hopefully tomorrow. So I'm back feeling motivated to stream. So see you all then.